Yeah. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Speakathon for November. We have 4 speakers today speaking on different projects, and after each speech, we'll have a panel evaluation by 3 mentors. We'll have a Toastmaster Fiona Pinto giving an evaluation on content and the structure of the speech. Toastmaster Winston will give an evaluation on body language, voice, and gestures. And Toastmaster Chandrashekhar will give an evaluation on the impact of the entire speech, the message, whether the message was effective. So let's start with the first speaker, Toastmaster Radha Sharma. Toastmaster Radha is on a presentation. Her path is presentation mastery, level 3 persuasive speaking. And the purpose of her project is for her to understand the types of persuasive speeches and deliver a persuasive speech at a club meeting. Toastmaster Radha Sharma. Radha, you can share the title of your speech, please.
Go ahead. Follow your dreams. Timing is 5 to 7 minutes to confirm.
Yeah, the timing is 5 to 7.
Well, good morning, everyone. The title of my speech is Follow Your Dreams. Date 17th October, time 7 o'clock in the evening. A young lad of 12 years was getting prepared along with his cricket kit to leave for a railway station. There was a sense of excitement in him. 7:30 he boarded the train to a city where he could fulfill his dreams. 7:30 he boarded and he was full of joy. He was traveling to the high-tech city, Bengaluru. I could see his eyes gleaming with joy. And then some mixed feelings in his thoughts while he was looking outside of the window. Early morning, 6 o'clock, the train hits the station, and the child, hugging his kid, walked out of the station and sat in a cab. As he was passing by, he was observing every road. And as he passed by the Chinnaswamy Stadium, he said to me, "Mama, this is where I'm going to play. I'm going to practice." I said, "Yes, Baba, in some time we'll be coming back here for your practice session." But then he corrected me. "No, Mama, this is where I'll be playing in future, and you will be sitting in the pavilion and watch me bat." I was amazed to see the confidence in him. Such a small child and so focused. So the thing is, it's not how big you are, it's how big you play. Good morning, Toastmasters. How many of us have the courage to encourage a child in anything beyond education? How many parents have the guts to say to your children, "It's okay, Baba, if you're not fair in your academics, as far as you are fair in sports or any other extracurricular activities"? Not many, I guess. Be honest, there may be just a few handful of ones. Well, today I'm here to lay emphasis on the importance of sports rather than the traditional approach of thinking towards life with academics to make a future bright and successful. Well, I understand all parents would want their children to pursue a viable career that will provide financial stability. Sports, I agree, is a high-risk career. The threat of injury and non-performance looms large. Also, career opportunities for sportsperson in India, barring a few sports, are limited. One may be an Olympian or a national champion, but if not professionally qualified, it's hard to make a decent career outside sports. India being a cricket-centric country and not laying importance to many other sports, we are lagging behind, and hence the parents are very much skeptical to send their children in the lines of the sports. But I would like to tell that the world has changed, the time has changed. There are countries which who encourage their children beyond education, and they're giving them personal attention and many other job opportunities. After attaining a high level of achievement in sports, one would like to work with dignity and at a respectful position in an organization. But if not professionally qualified, it's hard to manage. Also, trying to earn a professional degree after quitting competitive sport is not easy. And in most cases, it's just too late in the day. In our beautiful country, parents are not very keen on allowing the children to follow their dreams. Parents are naturally worried about the future of their child. It is because in the past, even they have seen through. They have also been dejected at sports and hence keep their children away from allowing them to be a part of the sports. It may be just for the sake of entertainment, but not for career. The child is put through a punishing routine of school, tuitions, and then extracurricular activities to give them that extra edge. Coaching classes for IITs and IIMs have started at the school level itself. So where is the time for sports? And then the children are so much glued to the technology now that it is hard to believe that they're spending most of their time and they are ruining their physical health. They're losing their eyesight, they're losing their spine. Such small children, they are getting backache, spine problem. And so where is the time for sports unless the child is promised those additional 25 marks in the 9th or the 10th grade in the exams if they excelled at the national, state, district, or any other sport? Having said that, don't you think in order to make their future, we are compromising with their present? We are taking away their golden childhood by putting them in this rat race of life to make a successful career. Surely they don't deserve this. Then who has to be blamed? Parents, society, school authorities, or the government? Well, it is the typical leaning mindset of the Indian parents who are not allowing them to do all this. Well, the basic reason behind school not providing emphasis on sport is the leaning Indian society and not realizing the importance of sports. Sports are necessary for students as well as for the nation also. When school focuses on education, sports academic focuses only on sports. So it's high time we should combine both and come up with overall development of the students. Education is hard, sports is hard, but choosing between the two is the hardest part. All sports person in India must have faced this dilemma at some point in their lives, no matter what level they have played the sport. At the end, you have education, which is far more safe routine to pursue a career. And on the other hand, the love for the sport with the hope to make it big there. So how do you choose? It's proven time and again that sports should form a vital part of one's life as it benefits many. Physically, it improves one's health, for sure, but the psychological development is nurtured too. The child develops interpersonal relation, a teamwork, a leadership, fellowship skills, learns to take the risk, sportsmanship, cooperation, patience, and perseverance. Having said all that, being an individual, I surely advocate a daily dose of sports along with education. And I strongly advocate education also. Now, sports is one of the rewarding career options in the country with lots of job opportunities these days. Sports opened up many career opportunities for young talents in India. To become a sports person, you have to have the talent in the chosen sport and along with a strong determination and perseverance, which is very much required. Nowadays, countries like UK, Denmark, US, they all are focusing and encouraging their child in the sports by helping them out in their academics, by giving them extra time. Why can't our school also do so? The school are giving students who have, a little extra time, or they give personal coaching to them. And that's how the children are able to follow their dreams. Now, there are some ocean of careers in sports field, which I just want to highlight. They are sports management, social media manager, event planner, sports marketing. Then there are grassroots developers, sports agencies, sports medicine, physiotherapist, sports nutrition, which is very much in demand these days, and many more to add on. Hence, I would strongly recommend to all the parents in our society, it's time to change your mindset and let your children enjoy their childhood days more with nature, sports, and games rather than with this technology. Let these little birds bloom into flowers on their own and let them decide for themselves what they want to achieve in life. Just be their support system and be there whenever they fall to and need your help. Life is too short to impress everyone, and hence help your children to lead a happy and a healthy life with a combination of education and sports. Well, I left halfway about the young lad who reaches the stadium and starts his hard work. I wish him all good luck and pray he stays focused on his dream and one day make his dream a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Radha. That was a very interesting speech. Pratibha, do you want to give us the time? And I'll just add the event.
Radha took 8.41 minutes.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
And I'd just like to add that I'll be sharing the green screen and keep it on till the yellow, till the red, so that everybody doesn't, if they miss the few seconds, let's say.
Yeah.
And at the end of 30 seconds grace period, I will just switch on my timer, this thing, so that they come to know that it's the end of the thing. And then I'll switch on again the red one, so that.
Oh, fine. Great. Okay. I think Radha overshot the time a little bit.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Like, we have to learn to adjust. Go ahead. I think the first evaluator will be Fiona. Go ahead, Fiona.
Yeah, thank you. Congratulations, Radha, on completing the project. I like the topic very much. You want to coax parents and encourage. You want to coax parents to encourage their children beyond academics, which is a very good topic for persuasive speaking. You started the speech with an imagery by giving a story about your son. So that is a great way to start, because you got us thinking. It isn't like you just give us the points. You got us to think and imagine things. So it is very good. You give examples also of how some parents and how some schools also encourage children beyond academics by giving the types of different everything that is beyond academics. That was good. You mentioned how parents are not keen. Indian parents are not keen. Rhetorical questions are a great way of persuasion, and you asked rhetorical questions many times. At the start of your second paragraph, when you said good morning, after that a series of questions, very good persuasion. And you chose to appeal to the emotions of the audience by asking them if you want your children to be healthy and happy with the combination of sports and academics. So the idea is good. It was great. I think that in persuasion, there should also be, I mean, of course, the voice modulation part, sir will come, others will take up on it. But persuasion should have that impact when you give it that voice modulation. In terms of content and structure, you've done very good. What you could add to persuasion, and given the examples and stuff, I guess I wouldn't change much when it comes to content and structure. The main thing was that you had to understand the types of persuasive speaking. So I didn't get if there were any particular types, but what you wanted to convey has been conveyed through your speech. So good luck, and over to Chandru sir. Winston.
No,
Winston sir. All right.
Winston, you're muted. You can go ahead.
Okay, I have to speak or Chandra has to speak?
No, you have to speak, Winston. Rather, you
Okay.
need to keep your video on. Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
Winston.
Okay, Radha, congratulations for your speech. I was really happy because you stood up and spoke. Normally people sit and speak, but I was expecting a lot of action from you. But only thing is, I was disappointed because you were clutching your hands all the time like this. And I think you had a pen in your hand. That's why you couldn't do actions. Never carry any object with your hand, because then your hands are not free. I was expecting more action from your body and hand, and also facial expression. You are not having any facial expression. You have a beautiful face and a smiling face. I was looking forward for that. You could have made some action saying, you said, who has to be blamed? You should say, who has to be blamed? Okay. And another one is, you can make it big. You just did like this. You can make it big. You can make it big. So these are the things which will impress and carry your message forward. So I think you need to have more body action and little bit movement and smile and expression on your face. Then your speech would have been superb. Radha, please continue. If you agree with me, Please continue with these suggestions. I'm sure you will be a very good speaker. Your speech was excellent, well prepared. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'll keep this in mind.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. In particular, Toastmaster Radha. Radha, you started your speech with a personal story, and it has caught the attention of the listener. The presentation part was very good. It was well structured one, and ending you have ended your speech with the where you have started. I mean, there is a clear connection was there, and you have told about the risk part in the sports career, and what about you told about the mindset of the parent, and then you told about the different advantages and various career options in the sports events. So your overall presentation of your speech was very good. There is a transition between each and every part. It was well structured one. And coming to the impact of your speech, definitely you have impacted the listener, because choosing a career as an option is a risky one, and you have told about it. But at the end, there is an advice for the parents to change their mindset and support their children to follow their dreams. So definitely it has impacted the listeners, and you have given the message to the listener that okay, take this sporting as a career option too. But one thing what you had added is you would have given the live example. I mean, the persons who have already achieved in a sporting career. So had you given that example, it would have been more effective one. All in all, the speech was very effective, and you have conveyed the message about taking the sports as a career option too. Congratulations once again. Over to Sunita.
Yeah, let's get ready for the next speaker. Our next speaker is Kavita Karma. Pratibha, I think you're going to be on screen for a while. Is that okay? I said you're going to be on screen for a while.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 8 to 10 minutes, no? Right.
Yeah.
8, 9.
Kavita is giving a speech which is part of her DTM project. It doesn't belong to any level. As part of the DTM project, she has to give 3 speeches, and this is the final one. She has to deliver an 8 to 10 minute speech to review her project, its outcomes, and her learning. I'm going to, Kavita, shall I share screen? Shall I begin sharing screen? Yes.
Just a minute, Sunita. I get you corrected. There are 2 speeches in the DTM project. Yeah. I'm already done with the 5 to 7 minutes, and this is the 8 to 10 minutes, the second speech. Yeah.
Okay, Kavita. Thank you. I'll just share the screen.
Before the timer times me, I would like to say that this is the second speech under the DTM project. It is all about my experience outside the club as a Toastmaster with my summer camp. So here we go, timer. You can time me from now. The new normal, the online virtual meet. Deep down, I had this dream of giving to the society in some way or another, especially through children. When I look at the spark in the children, I too feel regenerated. For me, personally, it's my father who put into all of us that there is nothing greater than giving love and sharing our knowledge. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Could we go to the next slide, please? There is more joy in giving than in receiving. A child's smile is one of life's greatest blessings. There is more joy in giving than in receiving. One pleasant Sunday morning, as I was strolling in the garden, I saw some children playing in the next compound. I saw a mother screaming, "Come inside, no playing during pandemic." So the children went to the respective houses. This is when an idea popped up of a virtual summer camp. Planning is predetermined course of action. It is deciding in advance what to do, how to do, when to do, and who is to do it. It was during one of the virtual meetings that I happened to connect with Prabal, who is currently the president of Tech Mahindra Toastmasters. Prabal, who has also worked in an NGO that has contributed immensely during pandemic, gave me an idea of how to go about with the summer camp. And I spoke about this idea to Prabal, and he readily agreed to join me to plan this whole event. It was with zeal and enthusiasm we began our planning. Can we go to the previous slide, Sunita? This was the poster we had published before the camp. The thought of having the summer camp for 6 to 10 years of age was truly exciting. Then we also were glad to know that the NGO Being Social from Bangalore showed utmost interest in making the posters for the virtual summer camp. And we were fortunate and happy that they provided us with a Zoom link. We planned to put it on the social media a week prior to the camp. While formulating plans, we tried to get complete, clear, and reliable knowledge by collecting information to prepare well so that we get the best results at the end. We had a team who could discuss the course of action to ensure effective and efficient achievements that would take place. We wanted children to involve themselves, so we distributed Google Forms to find out their interests. The very thought of feeding the needy during this difficult pandemic times made us collect a nominal fee of rupees 299. We planned to have 2 WhatsApp groups, one especially for volunteers to decide how to go about, and the other with the students. So we framed the syllabus for the 5-day camp. Can we have that slide on the screen, please? The syllabus included the icebreaker, the previous one, please. Origami, good touch, bad touch activities like Kahoot and scavenger hunt, singing and dancing. We tried our level best to bring the resource persons from various sessions that would create an impact for the summer camp. Can we have the next slide? Yes. The next slide, please. Yes. Learning is nothing but gaining knowledge and skill, a change in behavior, and through sessions, our aim was to give children the best training possible. To make the sessions interesting, we introduced innovative and creative ideas. For example, we had the game Kahoot quiz, which we had planned every day. It would be of different topics from sports to science. A goal without plan is just a wish. There are dreamers and there are planners. The planners make them dream come true, and we were 100% sure that our dreams will come true. Privil and me had always believed in one thing: failing to plan is planning to fail. We were confident that we were in the right track. Now let me explain to you my outcomes in this camp. In this camp, the children could learn how to have the cake flavored with a mix of fun and learning, and eat it too. Through the summer camp, I learned to coordinate, cooperate, be self-assured. It helped me improve my self-morale. Most importantly, at the end of the summer camp, it helped me believe in myself. And it surprised me that I could do so much for the children along with enjoying what I did. Can I have the slide, please, of the 5 keys to success? Deep down, my intuition of being successful lies on these 5 keys to success. The previous one. Discipline. Remember, today's struggle is tomorrow's strength. We made sure that the meetings would begin on time. An interesting agenda was the spark that triggered the children to come on time. Discipline helps an overall development of just not the children, but us too. Luck is the major factor. It does not matter which super successful person you talk to, they will agree to that you must have some degree of luck to reach the farthest heights of success. You must work hard to be great, harder probably than you ever imagined to be. Being social NGO was truly gratifying for us. From getting children and involving them, bringing out the best out of the fun-filled and meaningful summer camp. And the luck was on our favor to have such a wonderful team from Bangalore-based Being Social. The third one, determination, is both a firmness of purpose and a willingness to work unceasingly towards that purpose, in spite of any obstacle or failures along the way. Privil and I were very predetermined and focused that we put our heart and soul into it. Skill, which is very important, goes hand in hand with determination. You cannot become really skilled at any difficulty without putting in a lot of time and effort. Both Privil and me executed the summer camp, putting innovative ideas in a basket through skill and choosing the best. Passion, to practice something unabated day in and day out for years is impossible unless you're passionate about the thing you're practicing. The old cliche that if you love what you do, you never have to work is true. The very fact that both of us were very passionate about children and gelling with them was just a child's play for us. People need to stand up and start adding value to other people's lives by being of service and living selflessly. The good you put out into the world will return to you in abundance. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give, says Winston Churchill. Our aim is to make India proud, and we would like to make India proud by wanting every child not to be deprived of education, but to fly high as the flag and touch the sky. So could I now request Sunita, let me now take you through the beautiful shimmering pictures of my bacha party. As I've got a few minutes to go, let me show you the origami art which Toastmaster Mahima taught them. They learned to make small shirts, cups, chairs, and whatnot. But can we go to the next slide, please, Sunita? They had a few more to go. The next one. My bacha party was in a group too. They were orphans, children from centers, and we had 80 of them in one screen. Next one, please. And we had a thank you note from the NGOs. Next one. Yeah, this was a thank you note from the children for us. And these are my slides for you. Thank you for being a part of my summer camp. We had certificates too. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavita. Pratibha, you want to give us the time? Evaluators, if you could just switch on your Videos, please.
Kavitha took 10.28 seconds.
So I think she's within her time, right? One second, we just get Winston also. Winston, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Can you just switch on your video, Winston? Yes, all right.
TM, yeah. So the content, what you had to do was review a project, let us know the outcomes and the impact of the project of what you've already completed. So when it comes to giving us a review of the project, you've done it well, giving us an introduction of why you chose to do this in the first place, who was your inspiration and what encouraged you. And then you told us about the how, what, when, why you did all of these things and your walk outside the park. It sort of connected the whole idea of why you chose to work with children and why it was an NGO. So when it comes to reviewing the project, you did that very well by giving us the introduction and by giving us the actually what was done in the project. When it comes to the outcomes, you specified your learnings in relation to the project and how gratifying it was for you to be involved with children. You also told about how you engaged yourself with Privil, which was a nice way of putting about how it was actually impactful on you. You used several quotes to connect the speech and several pictures to connect with the audience. And I think that when you culminated your project with the pictures, it sort of made everything so heartwarming. So impact-wise, we can see it on those pictures, how the children gave you a thank you note and that it was very impactful and they're obviously very thankful for everything that you have done. Congratulations. It was a well-structured speech given the the review, the outcome and the impact. You've touched on all of them. Congratulations. Over to Winston, sir.
Okay. Kavitha, it was a good speech and coupled with good actions. Your facial actions were good. Your hand actions were also good, but they could not be seen very often because you were sitting. If you could stand and deliver the speech, it would have been more visible. Okay. Another thing is your eye contact. You are looking at, I think, if I'm not mistaken, you are looking at your prepared speech sheet most of the time. That's why your eyes were concentrated only on that. But in spite of that, your facial actions and hand actions were good. The pace of your speech, of speaking, was also good. Sometimes you went in a low voice, sometimes you went in a high voice. That was excellent. Okay. The voice modulation was also good. But I think at the end of the speech, you started reducing your actions. I don't know whether you wanted to know when you are going to finish or something. Another one thing which I don't know whether it comes in my area, you don't have to say Sunita next screen. You have to give a signal to Sunita like, or like this, then Sunita can automatically change the screen. When you say Sunita next screen, it doesn't go along with the speech. This is what my observation. Hope they are useful to you for the future. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. In particular, Kavitha, congratulations for presenting your beautiful speech. Giving back to society, giving love, sharing knowledge. You have started your speech with this beautiful quote. And your speech needed, there are three parts: reviewing your project, outcomes, and learning. You have dwelt upon all the three aspects of your speech, and you have said about how all this has started, how it was triggered, taking a summer camp online to the students, how it was triggered, that you have said about it. And you said you have included some good quotes from Churchill, and you have included many other good quotes like give and get in abundance. all those were catching. It was drawing the attention of the listeners. But what you have, you have spent more time on the planning. Instead of that, you had a 3 areas: review, outcome, and learning. You would have shared your speech in such a way that equal amount of time been given to the each 3 aspects. You have spent more on the planning that you could have avoided it. And about the impact of the speech, definitely it is impacted all the listeners, because you have made the listener to think that they can also contribute to the society. They can also indulge in future such activities, so that they can bring some smile on the children. So in that count, you have definitely impacted the listeners to take up the similar nature of project in the future. Once again, I congratulate Kavitha for teaching the kids how to make the scraps, origami, and bringing out the creativity in them and laugh on their face. Once again, congratulations. Over to Sunita.
Sorry, Smita, to interrupt. Thank you, all the 3 evaluators, and I will keep this in mind to improve. And special thanks to Chandru, who helped me with the slides. And this I have to mention because I'm sure he put in a lot of effort and time. Thank you, Chandru, for making those slides. And thanks, Sunita, for sharing the slides.
I'd like to put on record that the difficulty with the slides was mine and not Kavitha's.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you for that. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. So our next speaker will be Ranjani.
Yes, I am ready.
No, let me interrupt
Yes,
Sunita. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. This Ranjani is giving the speech for the first time, or it is for the second time, because there are 2 parts. Taking receiving a feedback and
No. This is the first part.
Okay, done.
Evaluation and feedback.
Okay.
This is the first speech. So Ranjani's path is innovative planning, level 1. And the project is evaluation and feedback, 5 to 7 minutes. This is the first speech.
Yes.
Over to you, Ranjani. You can mention the speech title.
Yes. Speech title is Luxury, Luxurious Lifestyle. When you fill your life with healthy food, positive habits, and a toxic-free home, your life will quickly change for a better. Very good morning, Toastmasters and guests. My passionate father owned a car in 60s, which was a luxury of that day. Onida TV, which was a neighbor's envy, was everyone's favorite in 70s in India. Though in 1876, telephone was invented by Alexander Graham Bell, landline phones came into luxury in 80s in India. In 90s, computers started putting its footprint, slowly followed by mobile phones and Android phones, which is the need of the hour at present for a comfortable lifestyle. Toastmasters, now tell me why I am talking about luxuries and comforts of lifestyle. When the pandemic of COVID-19 hit the world, it gave a lesson to us. Health is wealth. Natural, organic, turmeric, neem, honey, tulsi, betel leaves gained importance to prepare kashaya and drink. Having the organic food in the dining table became a luxury of the day. I understand that because of healthy living and toxic-free life, I could climb up the stairs of my building till 10th floor and reach my flat. When I bought a new refrigerator, I posted the pic in WhatsApp DP and FB stories with pride. Now I feel that ability to eat fresh cooked food 2 or 3 times a day is a groundwork for all happiness of good health. Toastmasters, not being healthy, being happy in a marriage, having a happy family, being with the loving friends, and living in a unpolluted place are real luxuries of our life. Our own people's doctor, the doctor who recognized the importance of healthy living, Padma Bhushan Dr. B.M. Hegde, in his mantra, states that preventive care and good health without medicines. So what now? Stop waiting and start doing simple changes in your routine lifestyle by breaking those bad habits for the sake of better relationship and luxurious lifestyle. Technology is a socially nurtured addiction. Tech addiction causes anxiety and affect relationships. So I request, go tech free for a day. It sounds so challenging, isn't it? Try to spend some time away from computers, phones, and tablets. Start with the small thing like going out for a walk without a mobile phone, then for a shopping. Tech-free day, fix it for a week. It gives a space for clear your mind and give liveliness for a moment with your family and friends. Toastmasters, you will feel the recharge when you are away from all these gadgets. Focus on little comfort for your luxurious lifestyle. Next, declutter your surroundings by sharing and donating things which you are having excess and of no use. Recently, I received a message from Moms of Mangalore FB group stating that they want to celebrate Children's Day with a difference. They collect wearable and usable clothing of children and distribute it among the needy on 14th of November in St. Aloysius College campus. Please donate things which you have excess. Keep your surroundings and environment clean for more luxury. In conclusion, please update your lifestyle, which brings joy, happiness, and your life. Make anything which makes you happy and make you feel loved and luxurious. Recognize the importance of healthy living. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ranjani. Yeah, Pratibha, can we have the time taken while I put on the evaluators?
Yeah, Ranjani took exactly 6.40.
Right.
6 minutes, 40 seconds.
Right. So she's absolutely within time. Over to you, Fiona, for the evaluation.
You, Ranjani ma'am, you had congratulations on completing. You had clear-cut structure, the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Your intro had you spoke about your father, and you spoke about what you're going to talk about and why you think that health is more important than having luxury. You came to your content, which had several things about the negatives of luxury and why happiness is important. And then the next part had the suggestions for everyone to go a day without technology. So the intro, the body, and the conclusion, it was clear cut. What else? This is important. You gave suggestions about going without a day. So that part was in the conclusion. What you could touch upon is how we as audiences have become dependent on luxury. You gave one example about the refrigerator. When you bought it, you thought that was a big thing. You put it on social media, but then you realized later that health is more important and that fresh food is more important. So what you could do is tell everyone that, how there are excessive gadgets and electronic, how we're dependent on these electronic items, and how much we continue to buy them in spite of having all these things. And we don't realize it's a luxury. And then you can come to the fact that it is actually harmful for us. There will be a better connect rather than going the other way around. You gave your suggestions and then you told us about the negatives. Go it the other way around, tell us how we're dependent, and then you can give the suggestions for the better connect to happen. Over to Winston, sir.
Thank you, Fiona, Toastmaster Fiona, for the good suggestions. I'll follow it for my next speech.
Ranjani, your topic was about luxury. I think it is really luxurious to sit on a beach and give a speech. Because your background you put was on the beach, and I'm sure it's a luxury to sit on the beach. And maybe it gives a suggestion for Toastmasters to have the next meeting on a beach.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Again, as I told on my first evaluation, you are sitting and giving a speech. So if you are standing and moving around, it would have been better. Okay. But when it is a virtual meeting, everybody tend to sit down because you feel more comfortable and give the speech. But then again, your eye contact, again, I found you had an eye contact, but again, I found you were looking at your notes. So that happens to everybody when you speak from home, because we think that nobody can notice. But since I had to evaluate that particular point, I had to notice very carefully, because you were going forward and backward looking at your notes. Okay. Your actions were good. Your facial expressions were good. Your voice modulation was also good. Okay. Besides that, I have no other comments. I think continue to do those actions. Continue to give the spatial expression which adds to your speech. Okay. And congratulations. All the best.
Thank you, DTM Winston. I'll just, next speech I'll give by standing. I'll try to do it.
Good morning, everyone. And in particular, Ranjani. Ranjani, congratulations for completing this beautiful project. And you have presented your speech very well. It was well organized speech, and your presentation was very much it was apt like luxury was your title, and you have started with your speech with the list of luxury items, how it came into our lives, and you have told about how it is this more luxurious thing is how it is affecting our health. Health is wealth. You have quoted it, though it is an old quote, but it is more apt, relevant in today's life. Presentation part, everything was perfect, and you have concluded your speech with a good advice to all the listeners. And coming to the impact of your speech, whatever advice you have given, it is easy to follow, not that difficult. And you have also told about donating the excess things which are is no longer used. It is, and most of us have this kind of, there are so many things, it is an excess, but we are not willing to give it. But your speech definitely impacted us to give those unnecessary things to the needy ones. And you have told about the keeping the environment clean. So impact wise, your presentation, your speech has really impacted all of us. So advice part, already Fiona and our DTM Winston has already told the advice how to improve upon our speech. All in all, there was a great speech. Over to Sunita.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Chandrashekhar.
Yeah. Thank you, Ranjani. And I hope next time we will meet you not on the beach or somewhere else.
Definite. Offline.
Yes. So our next speaker is going to be Puja. Just give me a minute while we get ready. Puja, you need to switch on your video. Yes, you're muted, Puja.
Hello.
Yes, all right.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Ma'am, everyone is done?
Yes, you're the final speaker. I will not be speaking today. Puja's part is leadership development. She's on level 1 and her speech project is research and presentation. Puja, would you like me to start? The timing is 5 to 7 minutes, Pratibha. Would you like me to start sharing the screen, Puja?
Ma'am, before we start the timing, I just want to tell you to change the slide every 6 to 7 seconds, ma'am.
Okay, that will be a little difficult for me to do without you indicating how to
because as Winston sir told Kavitha ma'am to not to speak like that, so I'm just thinking like, you know, how do we
no, it's
do
okay.
it without
Doesn't
speaking?
matter. I think what he meant was you need not say the name. All you can say is please change, or you can just say next slide.
Okay.
So automatically I will go to the next slide. It's okay. Just don't mention the name.
Perfect.
Right?
Or she
Fine,
can
ma'am. Fine.
She can give a cue. She can give a cue. She can just lift her pen or something like every time.
Or if you're not ready with it, you just say please next slide. It's better not to add something new right now.
Yeah.
Just
Perfect,
say next slide. I will know that I have to go to the next slide. Should I start sharing the beginning?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, all the Toastmasters. Have you all have had your tea and coffee in the morning today? My speech is about caffeine. Over 100,000 metric tons of caffeine is consumed around the world every year, which is equivalent to the weight of 14 Eiffel Towers. Ma'am, please next slide. Most of the caffeine is consumed in coffee and tea, but it is also ingested in some soda, chocolates, caffeine pills, and even beverages labeled as decaf. Caffeine helps us feel alert, focused, happy, and energetic, even if we haven't had enough sleep. But it can also raise our blood pressure and make us feel anxious. It is the world's most widely used drug. So how does it keep us awake? Ma'am, next slide. Caffeine evolves in plant where it serves a few purposes in high dosage, as it is found in the leaves and seeds of certain species. It's toxic to insect, but when they consume it in a lower dose, as it is found in nectars, it can actually help them remember and revisit the flowers. In the human body, caffeine acts as a stimulant for the central nervous system. It keeps us awake by blocking one of the body's key sleep-inducing molecules, a substance called adenosine. Next slide. Our body needs a constant supply of energy, which gets by breaking down a high energy molecule called ATP. In process, it liberates adenosine, ATP's chemical backbone. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide, ma'am. Next slide. Neurons in your brain have receptors perfectly tailored to this molecule. When adenosine docks to those receptors, it activates a cascade of biochemical reaction that causes neurons to fire more sluggish and slow the release of important brain signals molecules. In other words, you get sleepy. Caffeine is what's called as adenosine receptors. Next slide. Antagonist, that means it derails this process of slowing your neurons down by blocking adenosine receptors. Caffeine and adenosine have similar molecules structure, close enough that caffeine can wedge into the adenosine receptors, but not close enough to activate them. To summarize, adenosine inhibits your neurons. Caffeine inhibits the inhibitor, so it stimulates you. Caffeine can also boost positive feeling. Next slide. In same neuron, the adenosine receptors are linked to receptors. Next slide, ma'am. Next slide. One of the dopamine role in the brain is to promote feeling of pressure. When adenosine docks in one of these paired receptors, they can make it hard for the dopamine to fit in its own spot, interrupting its mood lifting work. But when caffeine takes adenosine place, it doesn't have the same effect. The dopamine can slide in. Next slide. There is an evidence that caffeine's effect on adenosine and dopamine receptors can have long-term benefit to reducing the risk of diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and some type of cancer. Caffeine can also ramp up the body's ability to burn fat. Next slide. Next slide. In fact, some sports organizations think that caffeine can give athletes an unfair advantage and have placed limits on its consumption. Next slide. From 1972 until 2004, Olympic athletes had to stay below a certain blood caffeine concentration. Next slide. Next slide, ma'am. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide, ma'am, because all this got missed. Next slide. Sorry for the inconvenience, yes. To compete, of course, not all the caffeine effects are so helpful. It might make you feel better and more alert, but it can also raise your heart rate and blood pressure, cause increased urination or diarrhea, and contribute to insomnia and anxiety. Plus, the food and beverages caffeine is found in have their own impact on your body that have to be taken into account. Your brain can adapt to regular consumption of caffeine if your adenosine receptors are perfectly clogged. Your body will manufacture extra ones. That way, even with caffeine around, adenosine can still do its job of signaling the brain to power down. Next slide. That's why you may find the need to consume more and more caffeine to feel as alert. Next slide. There are more and more adenosine receptors to block. It's also why if you suddenly quit caffeine, you may experience an unpleasant withdrawal with plenty of receptors and no competition. Adenosine can work over time, causing symptoms like headache, tiredness, depression, depressing mood. But in a few days, the extra adenosine receptors will disappear. Your body will readjust and you will feel just as alert as ever, even without the infusion of the world's most popular stimulant. Since I have few more minutes left, I'll end with a small poem about tea. Sip your tea nice and slow. No one ever knows when it's time to go. There will be no time to enjoy the glow, so sip your tea nice and slow. Life is too short, but feel pretty long. There is too much to do and so much going wrong. And most of the time you struggle to be strong. Before it's too late, it's time to go. Sip your tea nice and slow. Some friends stay, others go away. Loved ones are cherished, but not all will stay. Kids will grow up and fly away. There is really no saying how things will go. So sip your tea nice and slow. In the end, it's really all about understanding love for this world and in the star above. Appreciate and value who truly cares. Smile and breathe. and let your worries go. So just sip your tea nice and slow. Thank you.
Thank you, Puja. Pratibha, you want to give us the time while I add the...
He was exactly dot on 7 minutes. Well done. Exactly 7 minutes.
Yeah, let me add.
I'm glad.
Just hold on. Winston, can you switch on your video, please? Winston, yeah. Okay. It takes a little while to respond, so just give me a minute, please. Right, we're all on screen. Over to you, Fiona.
Congratulations, Puja, on finishing the speech. Sip your speech low and slow, I would say. When it comes to research and presentation, it has to be, because there's a lot of content, no? There's a lot of facts, and you can't just bombard it into other people, into the audience. And much of it just goes above your head. It's like how when you sit in class, no, it just goes above your head when you're bombarded with information. So if you went slow, it would have been good. Your research is quite good around caffeine. You spoke about consumption. You covered a lot about the negative effects quite earlier on into the speech. Up till almost the end, you spoke about the negative effects. That was also about dopamine and adenosine. All are new things to us, but the research was well done. I thought that the slides were very cute, but the purpose of a PPT is for it to aid your speech. But I found that the PPT did not do anything much to give you that extra boost. It did not give the speech, like it didn't add anything. So you could have left it out in case, it was not working fine, whatever. Another thing you could do is, instead of, asking Sunita ma'am next slide, because yours was fast, no? PPT has an option where you can time it. So automatic timing, and it will run on its own from the first speech. So that would require a bit of practice, but that you could do because it was much faster. The changing was much faster as compared to Sunita ma'am. It was 6 seconds, right? That you could have done. I think the rest of it was good. Good luck, and over to Winston, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to add something over here. When it comes to sharing screen particularly, it needs to be rehearsed. For example, Puja, Kavitha had given me some indication of what to do, but I still had difficulty because I think, Kavitha, some of your slides had already been timed. So it kept going to that is the problem I had. It kept going to the next slide and I had to put it back to the first slide. So these are little things that we learn when we are online. And like Fiona said, there is an option to time the slides. However, if you time the slides, then you have to time your speech also and, coordinate the impact. Thank you. Over to you, Winston.
Thank you, Sunita ma'am. Thank you, Toastmaster Sunita, for doing part of my job. That is exactly what I wanted to say. You have to rehearse with the slide operator beforehand, so that you can correctly time the whole thing. Another thing is, your slides were too many, okay? Because most of the time we were concentrating on the slide than on your speech, okay? And another thing is, what I felt is you were just reading out your speech. You are not delivering your speech. I don't know, I may be wrong, but I couldn't see your full screen. Part of it which I could see, I could judge that you were just reading the speech, not delivering the speech. So there were no actions at all. There were no reactions on your face. You were just and the speed of speaking was too fast. You have to do it slowly so that people can understand. Before we could understand something, you went on to another topic, another sentence. So please pace your speech, rehearse it beforehand. And I think with these suggestions, I am sure your content was good. As Fiona said, your research was also very good. And it's a very good topic for reducing tea and coffee, because I drink about 4 or 5 cups of tea during the day. So I will sip my tea nice and slow. Thank you very much.
Ma'am, can I say something? About the timing part, about the slide, actually, if we can only share the screen, it's going to be easier, so that, when we know when to change the slide. somehow if we can do something about it, that will make the life much more easier. And another thing, yeah, because it's a research, so I felt like reading was like little important in this, because you can't remember all the facts and figures.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all, ma'am.
There are things to keep in mind, so we have to work on it and improve. We'll get
Yes,
better.
ma'am.
Yeah, over to you,
Yes.
Chandra.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone, and good morning in particular, Toastmaster Puja. Congratulations, Puja, for completing this project, research and presentation. On the topic you have, research was very good, because by looking at the number of screen, and the research was enough, because one note for the evaluator is to check whether the member has spent sufficient time on the research, and you have done justice to the time spent on the research. And you have started your speech asking the people, have you finished your coffee? And you had ended connected with the beginning, like have your coffee. So starting and ending was good, and in the content you have covered all the things, advantages, disadvantages of the caffeine. And when you said that caffeine is some kind of a drug, then our attention has it has pulled our attention to in the recent past there was a huge hue and cry on the drug case.
Yes.
And advice to you is already our Toastmaster DTM Winston said. I mean, you could have restricted the number of slides. And this purpose of this particular project is to review the basic research method. You could have told something about the different research method before you start dwelling too much into the caffeine issue. You could have said there are so many methods. So, and the thing, and definitely your speech has impacted, because you had told about the disadvantages about the caffeine, and definitely the listeners will take a note of that and try to bring down the amount of caffeine we consume on a daily basis. Definitely your speech will definitely they will reduce it. So all in all, it was a nice speech. Over to Sunita.
Thank you, Chandra. Thank you, all the evaluators. Could I request everyone to please switch on their, and special thanks to Pratibha for keeping up all of us on time. Thank you, Pratibha. Could I request all of you to switch on your video so we could have a group photograph? Just give me a minute, please. Yes. Puneet and Divya, if you could just switch on your photograph, let me get the full screen view. All right, give me some love, people, some hearts, some smiles, and let's click. Right, before we close, I invite those who are here, a very important announcement. We have a new member who is joining us today for the first time. He's just made up his mind. Vishnu, can you switch on your camera so the others can see you and we can welcome you? Yes, welcome to Toastmaster Vishnu. He's made up his mind today. He's jumped in. So welcome to Mangalore Toastmasters. You'll have an official welcome on the regular club meeting also.
Oh, thank you, Sunita. Thank you.
Could I request everyone who didn't have a chance to speak to just speak for a few seconds and give your feedback about today's speakathon, and then we can wind up. Ranjan, how did you like today's speakathon? Would you like to say something? Yes, Chandru, just a second. Let's give those who didn't have a chance to speak.
A new member, our Toastmaster Ranjani is also with us.
Yes.
Ranjan
yeah, okay. Because Ranjan was, I think I acknowledged Ranjan at the last club meeting. That's why I did. But welcome, Ranjan. I think he's, that's why I asked him to speak, because I consider him already a member. Ranjan, go ahead. How did you like today's speakathon?
Yeah, good morning all. So it is great learning, and so we learn a lot of things. So see, if you're attending one Toastmaster meeting, it's equal to reading more books, because I got a lot of information over here.
All right, good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So Kanya, you would like to add something? I know you're there. So Kanya or Lalita, before you go to work?
Sunita, yes, actually my internet is not very okay. So
it's okay.
parts of the speeches I was missing.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting meeting, because I think there was a lot of information given across the varied topics of my interest. So
Yeah.
that's why I found the meeting very interesting. So back to you.
Yeah, thank you. Lalita, you'd like to say something quickly? Yeah, you're muted, Lalita.
Today's session was very good. I missed last 2 sessions because I was outside. And very soon I'll prepare my speech also.
Oh, okay. All right. So we have to have more speakathons in future. I will keep that in mind.
Because I know I'm very late, but I'll do, madam.
Okay. All right. That's great. And last we have Puneet. Puneet is an interested, a person who's interested in Toastmasters. Puneet, would you like to switch on your video and tell us how you like today's speakathon? Are you there, Puneet? Okay. Perhaps not. Right. Any suggestions? The floor is open for 1 minute more. Any suggestions on how we can improve the speakathon? Those who participated, anything that we could work on? I realized the thing about sharing screen that we have to work on, so we can practice on that. Evaluators, speakers, anything that we can add, anything you'd like done better, you want to add? I'll stop the recording.